Welcome to Primetime Live at the Duxbury Senior Center. I'm Joanne Moore, and I'll be the host for today's show. I'm lucky enough to have Harry Katz, the COA board chair. He's also involved with the Interfaith Council. And I want to share, and he's going to share with us some of the wonderful things that are happening with the Interfaith Council and with an event that we partner on. So welcome, Harry.
Hi, Joanne. Thank you for having me.
So what I wanted to ask you about is our Black Tie Bingo event. Can you tell me a little bit about how that got started?
Black Tie Bingo is one of the most fun events that I have ever worked with. It started, I'm going to say, about 5-6 years ago. And the Duxbury Senior Center is a recipient of so many things during the year that they wanted to find a way to give back to the community a little bit. So they chose the Interfaith Council as the recipient of the Black Tie Bingo fundraiser, and all the money goes to provide heat and resources for those in need in Duxbury.
And I think the nice thing about that is it's ageless. It doesn't matter. Young families get assistance as well as seniors get assistance.
Absolutely, and it's in the middle of the winter, which makes it cold, which makes people want to give for heat.
And it is always a cold, snowy night when we have this event.
It is, yes it is.
So can you tell me when the event's going to take place?
The event is January 28th at 6 o'clock at night. It's a Saturday night. It is, again, probably one of the most fun nights of the winter.
And I have to say, it's after football ends and before the Super Bowl, which is a big thing in New England.
Absolutely. There is no football surrounding the Black Tie Bingo event.
Right. And if we are snowed out, what happens?
Last year that actually did happen, and we postponed it till the next Saturday night, which was, again, the night before the Super Bowl, so there was no football.
So if for some reason there's a blizzard,
it will be the Saturday night of Super Bowl weekend.
Okay.
Just add to the festivities of the football game.
So tell me what the evening looks like.
Everybody comes in around 6:30 into the foyer of the Senior Center, which is just filled with scrumptious appetizers and oysters and wine and beer and soft drinks, and they're greeted by members of the Interfaith Council for about an hour of socialization, and then they move into the main room where the bingo games begin an hour later.
And so how many games of bingo take place?
10 games, and it's amazing. You'd think bingo would be a boring kids game. It is more fun, and the adults are just crazy about it.
Well, I know the first year we had the event, I really thought no one was even going to pay attention to the bingo. I kind of thought it was a side thing. You could drop a pin in the room. People were so engaged.
They were so serious it wasn't even funny.
I know, and a false bingo is not something to mess with.
No, it isn't. No, people get very, very mad when you yell bingo and you don't have it.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit about the prizes.
Prizes are all donated to the Senior Center. Mm-hmm. They come from all the local merchants in Duxbury and around Duxbury. We make baskets of prizes for each game. Prizes can be haircuts, nail salons, fitness workouts, gift certificates to restaurants.
I think the thing that I love most about this event is nobody says no to helping out.
It's
because
amazing.
They know it's so important. If a business is a little business, a $5 gift card is what they can afford. They give a $5 gift card. It just warms my heart just to think about it. It's the best event, really, like you said, of the year.
I know, and we're so thankful for everybody that does donate, because we do realize that they get so many requests during the year for donations, but they really do give to this. And like I said, like you said, it could be a $10 gift certificate or a $5. It doesn't matter. We put them all in a basket of equal value, and there's an equal value door prize for each game.
Right. Well, and I think what's interesting is the games usually start between a $60 to $70 prize, which is, I think, a pretty big prize, and goes up to hundreds of dollars worth of donated items.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Which is
fun time.
Yes, it really is a fun time. So if someone wanted to get involved in helping or wanted to donate a prize, what should they do?
Just contact the Senior Center, and we'd be happy to come out and pick up the prize, and they don't have to do anything else. They could also donate money to be a sponsor of a game or an evening sponsor, and we have all different levels for that.
Sure. So if someone wanted that letter, they could actually call me. I'm
Right.
Joanne at the Senior Center, and I can send them out email or throw a letter in the mail,
Yep.
or fax it, or however you'd like to get that to be a sponsor or get involved in the event. Or if you're interested in volunteering, they could call Chris Coakley, our volunteer manager.
We always need volunteers.
We always need volunteers. Or if you want to come and participate in the bingo, you can do that. How much are the tickets, Harry?
Tickets are $50 per person. Black tie is not necessary, but it is very much encouraged.
And don't you love it? I mean, really, we're a society that blue jeans is the norm. People clean up really nicely.
People dress up to the T's.
And it's kind of fun to get dressed up after the holidays. It's something to look for in the cold winter months.
It's absolutely correct.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about, we have a couple great dessert bars that happen. So one of our board members is kind enough to donate. So want to share a little bit about that?
Well, the first dessert is I got to get this right. It's a chocolate dessert bar, a hot chocolate dessert bar.
Yep.
With fountains of chocolate just flowing down, and you can put it on all kinds of fruit and other candy and cookies and cakes, and just scrumptious.
Yes, and there's also the candy bar, which is so, you know, I think one of our board members came up with that from, it's kind of a new hit at weddings, but boy, it's so nice to take a bag of M&M. Well, that's my personal favorite.
Everybody takes their own.
Yes, everyone gets their own bag, and there's a treat for everybody.
And everybody cheats, and that's okay.
Exactly.
It's one night a year.
Exactly. So in addition to the evening, which is a $50 ticket that includes that whole event, it is a cash bar, of course.
Cash bar, yeah.
And there's going to be some auction items as well that we're working on as a committee.
Last year we auctioned Bruins tickets, Red Sox tickets, restaurant gift certificates, things like that.
And I think we have a new idea, something about hidden in a box.
I love this idea. What we're going to do is have a grand prize that will be hidden in a box. There'll be a lock on the box, and you can buy different combinations to see if that combination will unlock the box. If your combination does that, you win the grand prize.
So it will be an exciting
Very much
surprise
so.
underneath the box. So I know it's almost the holiday time, and people are trying to find something, a gift for that person that has everything. Can you tell me another way that you can donate to this black tie bingo event?
We're selling certificates of warmth or heat. So you can buy a gift certificate in somebody's name to give them as a gift, the certificate, and the money goes to supply heat for a chosen family in Duxbury in need.
So that can be any denomination?
Any denomination, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, and up.
So even if you've missed the holidays and you're looking for a birthday gift for
It's a
that
great
person that
idea.
needs another tie, which nobody needs another tie, this is a great gift. It's a great hostess gift.
I did it last year for several people, and it's a fabulous gift. It's very appreciative. People don't need physical gifts when you're adults. I mean, everybody likes physical gifts, but this is a warm gift. It's warm for the recipients in the form of heat, and it's warm to you in your heart. So it's all good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
And being involved with the Interfaith Council, you do things that warm people's heart all year long. After the holidays, tell me a little bit about what you're working on in January.
January, we do the Martin Luther King Jr. Prayer Breakfast, and this year it's going to be at St. Margaret's, which is the Episcopalian nuns that are right next to the town green. They have a beautiful new sanctuary that they're going to show off where we'll have our service. We have a fabulous speaker from Boston, whose name I don't happen to know at this point in time, but I know he's a fabulous speaker because I read about him. And it should be a wonderful event. The high school chorus will be singing. There'll be a cold breakfast beforehand, coffee, Danish, juice, things like that. It is free of charge. We do ask for a donation, and that's our January event, and it's always very well attended.
And so if someone wanted to come, do you have to reserve a
No,
ticket? You just show up for the day?
Just show up. The breakfast starts at 8:15 on Martin Luther King Day. Service starts at 9, and we're promptly out at 10.
Oh, so very efficient.
Yes.
So besides that, what else do you, I know the Interfaith Council does so many amazing things in the community. Why don't you just give a run through of the year while we're talking about the Interfaith Council?
Right now, we're in the midst of our Fall Basket program, which provides to over 100 families, 500 to 600 people in our community that are in need, meals for Thanksgiving and for the December holidays. We also do the spring holidays, the same thing, meals. In December, we provide gifts for the kids and some of the adults. We provide heating assistance from the Black Tie Bingo event. We provide rent assistance. We provide anything we can do to help make someone's life better in Duxbury that's in need.
So if someone missed the holiday but would love to bake for the spring event, who should they call? It
will be in the Clipper, and there'll be a whole schedule of events. There's also the Duxbury Interfaith Council phone line, which I do not know the phone number of.
But the person is Kay Drake.
Oh, Kay Drake, yes.
And we can get that number to PAC TV so they can add it at the end of the show.
Right.
And then, is there online? Is there a website?
There is a website.
And you know what? We can get that at the end of the show too. But it's
very embarrassed.
But you know what? I think if someone typed in Duxbury Interfaith Council,
it would pop up.
It would
yes, very much so.
So you do some amazing work in the community.
We require approximately $90,000 a year to provide all the assistance that we do for our recipients. We do not do any fundraising efforts on our own. We rely on people like the Senior Center and different donations that come into us. And the community is just fabulous, and 100% of everything we give stays in Duxbury.
And it's amazing. So at the Senior Center, we always have the place to collect food for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the volunteer was picking it up today, and the boxes were overflowing, and she had to go back to get her husband because she couldn't quite manage the boxes. So there's so much charitable giving in the community, and we're so fortunate to
be. It's amazing. Some of our recipients also help us do the baskets, making them up and preparing the food and everything else that they're going to receive. So people are very appreciative.
Right, and I love it that there's a homemade baked good right on top, because there is nothing better than getting some homemade cookies for the holiday, and what a treat when people open those baskets anytime during the year.
And my big thing is, how many dozens of brownies can you bake for the Interfaith Council? There's not enough. You just can't do it.
And brownies are a hit. It doesn't matter.
Are good.
And they're easy to make.
I
was going to say anyone can bake those. So look forward to seeing you at the Black Tie Bingo event in your finest.
In my finest, and you in yours.
And so that will be what date again?
January 28th at 6 o'clock at the Duxbury Senior Center.
All right, and tickets are available at the Senior Center?
For $50 a piece.
Yes, and you can do that by check or cash, and the Senior Center is open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on our show today.
My pleasure.
Go bingo, right? Here
we
go
bingo.
Again.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You look good, girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialist and the second opinions and the painful paperwork of our paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
take care.
We will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Welcome back to Primetime Live at the Duxbury Senior Center. I'm Joanne Moore, and I'm the host for today's show. Earlier, we had Harry Katz talking about Black Tie Bingo, something that happens at the Senior Center in the evening. And now I'm fortunate enough to have Angela Sinnott, our program manager, talking about one of our most successful programs during the day. Thank you, Angela, for being on our show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about our lifelong learning program.
Well, this is a really exciting program. A volunteer committee started this program in 2006, so it's been going strong for 11 plus years. We plan college level classes in 2 different semesters during the calendar year, and those courses are in various topics: art, literature, history, music, current events, politics, government, really anything that we can offer to the community that has an academic nature to it.
And how long are those classes?
Well, the classes range from 6 to 8 weeks. So 8 weeks is really the longest. And each individual class you might expect to meet for about an hour and a half of time.
And how many classes do you offer in a semester?
12 to 14. So that's the magic number. And it's really based on our capacity in our building, that if we had more classes that we offered than that, we wouldn't be able to do anything else. So,
well, and sometimes we've offered them off-site, and where are some of the places that we have offered them off-site?
One of the reasons that we have started to offer things off-site is not only because we're running out of space, but also because some of our classes are so popular that we've consistently had waiting lists. So we've decided that we were going to look for venues outside of the senior center that could house classes of 40 to 50 people if it's appropriate for the subject. So this past semester we hosted a class at the police department. They have a wonderful training room that was adequately seated 40 people, had great technology, and the group really enjoyed it, and they didn't mind going to the police department.
And it was right down the street.
It was right down the street.
Which is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
So how much does it cost to take a class?
Well, the classes are $30 a piece, that we find that many people take more than one class.
And is there homework?
There is no homework. Well, I say that. There might be some reading, but there are no tests, no papers. So when we say it's a college level class, you don't have the same stress of having deadlines for papers.
And there's no grade at the end either.
There's no grade at the end, no.
But what do you think the biggest, when we get the evaluation, what do you think? What's the aha that people walk away with? What's the benefit of the class?
I think in general, adults are lifelong learners, and so they just so enjoy and appreciate being in an environment where they can still learn, and they can learn from each other as well as from the facilitator that has been selected to lead the class.
And do you have to be a Duxbury resident or a senior to take the class?
No. That is a beautiful thing. We welcome people from all over the community. I think probably 16 to 17 towns are typically represented in our demographic. People come from as far away as Watertown and Boston to attend some of the classes.
Which is amazing.
That is amazing. But we draw a lot of people from Marshfield and Kingston and Plymouth who are interested in coming to the classes, and we welcome them all. You don't have to be a senior. I think we've had people as young as their mid-40s, and certainly up into people's 90s that they're still coming to the senior center for this lifelong learning.
Wonderful.
So if your schedule allows, you're welcome.
So check out the registration
Absolutely.
And see what class we're offering. So when does the next semester begin?
So our winter-spring semester will begin at the beginning of March. Mm-hmm. So our registration date is February 13th. That's a Monday. And our registrations are from 3 to 5. And this is called a registration reception, but several of our classes will actually fill up during this initial registration.
So if you want to be in a class, you should come to the registration,
Absolutely.
is what you're saying.
Absolutely. And we've changed the process a little bit so that it isn't so long. You're not waiting in line as long. But when you arrive, you get a number. But then those numbers are called at random when you come into registration. So it doesn't matter if you came 2 hours early and waited for the first number. You might not be the first number called. And we just felt that that made things a little bit more fair because the same people they began to know the process and they
And
could
how
get there
early you
early.
need
They
to
could get there pretty early. And this really has eliminated that somewhat.
And can you register a whole bunch of people? Or like if you were coming and I wasn't able to come?
No, we really ask that people register themselves in person.
Okay.
So that, again, just for the fairness of it, there are classes that may only have a limit of 20 people. And if we, allowed someone to come
With 10 registrations.
with 10 registrations, that just wouldn't be fair to the rest.
Right. And so say I can't come and I'm going to take my luck because maybe my class might or might not be filled. How could I register?
Well, you could mail in your registration. And if you just couldn't come on that Monday, but you could come another day of the week, we have walk-in registrations Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the morning so that you can come register then. And the mailed-in registrations are opened on Friday.
So that registration Tuesday through Thursday is 10 to 12 in the
10
morning?
to 12, yes.
And how do people pay?
Most people pay by check
Okay.
or cash. We're working on ways to be able to take credit card payments.
Just not quite there just
Stay
yet.
tuned.
Maybe next fall. We're hoping. So tell me, the classes that are offered are just dynamic. Can you
They
tell
are.
me some of the classes that are going to be offered this spring?
Yes, I'll give you a little sneak peek. So in our music category, we have an opera class that is offered each semester. We have a classical music class, and they will be concentrating on the music of Beethoven and Mozart. We have a new class this semester on the history of American music, so ragtime and
Oh, fun.
yeah, it'll be so different. So in that category, something for everybody. History classes, there's going to be a perspective on the Great Depression. There will also be a class with one of our most favorite facilitators, and that class is either going to be on the Reconstruction era or it's going to be a history of the city of Boston. We're still working out the final details.
Either one of
on
those
that.
sounds
Absolutely,
fabulous.
Absolutely. He could teach both of them
Yes.
and be
And
fun.
have a full house.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have literature courses, short stories, Shakespeare, poetry. This semester will be the poetry of Emily Dickinson.
And I did just get an email on the short stories class. It's going to be love letters. Love stories.
Love stories. Oh, okay.
How perfect with registration being the day before Valentine's
Absolutely.
Day.
We have a new course that we're also working on, which I think is very interesting. I love the title. It's the Middle East ... Europe ... United States. The dots are connected. And it's just how
who's teaching that one?
that is Mike Quinlan.
Oh, he always does
So,
great.
yes,
Well,
so
all the
he's done a lot
facilitators
of
do.
one-off programs
Yeah.
for us, and this will be his first lifelong learning program. And then our Great Decisions that we offer in the winter semester, which is World Affairs, Hot Topics on Beacon Hill, and our all-time favorite New Yorker class,
And
reading
that
the
is,
essays.
right, that is
in the
really
New
a
Yorker.
filled class. So if I wanted to learn more about the program, the classes, how to sign up, is there an easy peasy thing I can pick up?
There
or
is.
How do
So
I find out about
we
that?
do put together a brochure for each semester. This brochure will be available on our website. It is also available in hard copy that we can mail to you. So if someone wants to get on the mailing list to receive the hard copy, they can call the Senior Center, and they can either ask at the front desk or they can ask for me directly, and we will put them on the mailing list to get the brochure. But it's right there on our website at duxburyseniorcenter.org.
So I want to give a shout out to our volunteers on the committee because without them this wouldn't be possible. Can you tell me a little bit about the work they do?
Well, it's a committee that works year-round, and it takes that much work to plan these 2 semesters worth of classes. So we're always looking for new committee members because after you've served a few years, you'll go off the committee. But they're looking for people who are interested in facilitating classes and meeting with them and interviewing them and reviewing syllabus and whatnot to make sure that we have a really well-rounded program of classes.
And so what about if I wanted to teach a class? How do I get involved, or who do I call? Or
Well, I would say that you would call either of us at the Senior Center, and we would put you in touch with the committee. And definitely, we're always eager to talk to people who maybe have taught in their past lives or have had some, business experience that they would like to share.
Well, and it's funny, I was watching the news last night. Jane Flavel Collins, who's a courtroom reporter, she's done several classes for us. So whenever I see her on the news now, I always think of the Lifelong Learning Program and how she brought art to life in a lifelong learning class and really gave us a different perspective about what happens in the courtroom. So that's another dynamic class that has been offered in the past.
Yes, and hopefully again, if she can get out of the courtroom for a little while.
Right, so just to give our viewers kind of a quick summary before the show ends today, how many classes are we going to offer?
We will be offering 13 classes in our winter-spring semester. The registration date kickoff will be Monday, February 13th from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Senior Center. And the cost per class is $30. So please come to the registration reception.
And you can pay by check or cash. How about books? Do all classes have books?
Not all classes have books, but in the brochure we try to outline any additional costs that might be incurred. And the books, there might be 2 or 3 classes that have an additional text that they can either get through the library if they want to, or they can buy it. Our local bookshop, West Winds, comes to our registration and has the books for sale for that convenience.
So it's amazing. We have so many amazing partners at the Senior Center, from our volunteers to the various town departments that offer a space to make the classes possible, to West Wind's Bookshop. It really is a community event and community learning that really happens throughout the lifetime. So thank you so much for being on our show today.
You're welcome.
And
Thank
sharing
you.
so much wonderful information about this great program with our community.
You're welcome. Thank you.